Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam dayan ha'emet. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, creator of the universe, the righteous judge. Jen and Mark, everyone else wears the ribbon on the right side. You two, you have the ribbon on the left side of your heart. And may the children come from the heart. Anybody else who needs to take a seat, please do so.
Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai Roi lo echsad. Binote sheyar bitzein yamei menuchot yanachaleni. Nafshi yishovei, yanacheni v'maged tzedek lema'an shemo. Gam ki herech b'gitza mavet, lo hira hara ki ata imahdi. Shivtecha u'mishantecha hema yenachamuni. Ta'aruch lefanai shulchan neged tzurirai. Ishanta v'shemen roshi kusir v'yah. Ach tov v'chesed yirdifuni kol yamei chayai v'shaveti b'veit Adonai le'orech yami. In the rising of the sun and in its going down we will remember her. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter we will remember her. In the opening buds and in the rebirth of spring, we will remember her. In the blueness of sky and in the warmth of summer, we will remember her. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we will remember her. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we will remember her. When we are weary and in need of strength, we will remember her. And when we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember her. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember her. So long as we live, she too will live, for she is now a part of us, as we remember Jacquelyn Sadock. To her husband, Bill, and to her mother, Tilly, and to her children, Mark and Jennifer, and also to Steve and Tracy, and to her brother, Jeff, also to Nellie, and to her grandchildren, Sophia, Joseph, Aiden, Tylee, and also to Zach, to all the members of the family, and to so many dear and cherished friends who have come together today. We are here, of course, to remember, but also to find the strength to celebrate the life of your beloved Jackie. We've been taught that birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey from childhood to maturity and from youth to age, from innocence to awareness and ignorance to knowing, from foolishness to discretion and then perhaps to wisdom, from weakness to strength or strength to weakness and often back again, from health to sickness and back we pray to health again, from offense to forgiveness, from loneliness to love, from joy to gratitude, from pain to compassion, from grief to understanding, and from fear to faith, from defeat to defeat to defeat, until looking backward or ahead, we see that victory lies not at some high place along the way, but in having made the journey stage by stage, a sacred pilgrimage. Birth is a beginning and death a destination, and life is a journey, a sacred pilgrimage to life everlasting. Jackie's journey, a journey of more than 83 years, began here in Cleveland. She was born on October 6, 1939, to Matilda and Alfred Colt, and together with her brother Jeff, grew up in University Heights. Tilly, our dear Tilly, no parent should ever have to experience a day like today. We have no adequate words of comfort. There are no words that any of us can offer you today, because, simply put, the order of nature has been reversed. But Tilly, we do know that throughout the years, you were blessed to have known a daughter who was kind and generous of spirit. Tilly, when we spoke the other day, you remembered a little girl and a teenager who loved to dance. She loved her dance lessons, and you said she was a beautiful dancer and so very graceful. And Tilly, you knew a daughter who was wonderful, wonderful to you. A daughter who you shared a common goal of shopping. The outlet stores that the two of you visited, especially in Reading, PA. You were avid shoppers, and you had so much fun doing it. And Tilly, you saw a daughter who, in your words, I'm quoting you, you said she would do anything for anybody. You shared with me, Tilly, that everybody loved your Jackie, and you told me that she was your best friend. And I know that everyone gathered here together today joins me as we wish you health and the sweetest, sweetest memories forever of your beautiful daughter. And Jeff, for you, you knew a sister who was fabulous. In your childhood years, she taught you how to ride a bike. She taught you how to kick a football. And throughout your adult years, you treasured a sister who was a dear and trusted friend. A sister with whom you would speak with every night on the phone, specifically at 8:45 p.m. And wherever she was, whether she was living in Washington, D.C., or in Berwick, Pennsylvania, or even when the two of you would be in person, wherever she was and wherever you were, she would lend a good ear. She was a good listener. She would lend a helping hand or even a helping heart. Your relationship as brother and sister was quite special, for the two of you were also the dearest of friends. Now, friends, we know that when Jackie was a junior at Cleveland Heights High School, that Jackie Colt was fixed up on a blind date by one of her friends with a young man, a college freshman, who was attending Case Institute of Technology. Bill, you were very young, and she was even younger. You met Jackie on this blind date, and you were immediately quite taken by her. So much so that you decided to ask her out on a second date, which was a formal dance at Case. You recalled that she looked stunning in her gown, her prom dress, and by that time you were completely smitten with the beautiful Jackie. She graduated from Cleveland Heights High School in 1957, and following her graduation, she went to work for Dr. Samuel Gerber, a very famous coroner here in Cuyahoga County. And just 2 years following her graduation, on June 27th in 1959, Bill, you and your beloved were married, with Rabbi Jack Herman of blessed memory officiating. Bill, in your 63 years together as husband and wife, you and Jackie enjoyed so many activities together. Whether it was the two of you going for a power walk, or the horse shows that she attended to watch you ride, or the carnivals that followed these horse shows where you would take your kids around for so much fun. The two of you together, your work and your involvement with the Berwick YMCA, Bill, where you served as president, or the times that you and Jackie spent together volunteering for your synagogue, the beautiful bicycle rides that you would often go on together, and then, Bill, your weekly date night to the movie theater, followed by some pizza in the mall. The two of you enjoyed 50 years of season tickets for the Berwick Bulldogs high school football team, long after your own children graduated from this high school You were avid supporters of this school. And then, Bill, there were the ways that Jackie worked with you. In your business, she was known as a comparative shopper, something she enjoyed doing very much, of course. And this work, you paid her quite a bit, didn't you, Bill? You paid her in thank yous and hugs and kisses. She volunteered, but she loved doing it because she knew it was helping you. The two of you, your travels to visit your children and your grandchildren, this brought both of you so much joy. Visiting everyone in Georgia and North Carolina, in Ohio, throughout Pennsylvania, and of course in New York. It didn't really matter, Bill, what you and Jackie were doing. Whether it was the outdoors, the nature that you loved, traveling to see family, it didn't matter what it was, because for Jackie, as long as you were by her side, all of these times were great times and fun times. She was happy because she was doing it with you, Bill. And you mentioned to me that she was always at her happiest when it involved the whole family. The children, the grandchildren, as we would say in Yiddish, the ganze Mishpacha, the whole extended family. Mark and Jennifer, well, I know we're going to hear some words from you, Jen, in just a moment. When you think about your mom, when you think about all the years, you described to me a mom who was so dependable, reliable. You would come home from lunch from school every single day, and Mom was there every day with lunch waiting for you. And Bill, you would come home from work every day, and she'd have lunch for you as well. She was a mom who, in Mark and Jennifer's words, a mom who welcomed the entire neighborhood into your home. Everyone knew that your house was the hub. It was the meeting place, the gathering place. And your friends, Mark and Jennifer's friends, they knew that this home was a place they could go to. They were a place where they would be welcomed, a place where they could sit down for a meal, or more importantly, a visit with your mom. They were your friends, but your mom was their friend. She was someone who created an open and warm home, a place where everyone felt comfortable. She was a place where your friends could talk to her, and they knew in her they had a great listener, a person who not only fed them, but created a safe space. The Sadock family was also one of the only Jewish families in this neighborhood. And being such a minority in this neighborhood, your mom still maintained a kosher home. She would drive, it could be usually an hour, sometimes multiple times a week, to shop for kosher food, but this was something that was important to her. By many, and in her obituary, Jackie is described as a generous soul and one who was a tireless volunteer. She led the candy stripers at the Berwick Hospital Center, and she also served as president of the Ohev Shalom Sisterhood in Berwick, PA. She was an active member and an avid participant at the Berwick YMCA. She was an incredibly talented artist and cook. Her landscape paintings were exquisite, and the special recipes, these have been passed on already to her generations, and they will be treasured as her grandchildren pass them on to the next generation. Above all, her grandchildren and everyone know this to be true, that her passions and her interests, while she loved all that she was interested in, her greatest joy and her greatest passions were found in her family. Jackie will always be remembered as a devoted, loving, and amazing daughter to Tilly and to her father of blessed memory, to Alfred, an incredible sister, a loving and devoted wife, a doting and caring mother, grandmother, and a trusted and cherished friend to so many. Sophia and Joseph and Aiden and Tylee, you know that if your grandmother wore a crown, that the four of you would be the absolute most precious gems in that crown. And so today, with broken hearts, we find the strength to join with the sages of our people as we declare Zichrona Livracha. We pray that the memory of Jackie Sadock and all of the good deeds that she performed here in the land of the living We pray that these memories will always be for us a blessing. Amen. We know that words that come from one's heart always find their way to other hearts. I want to call first on her daughter Jennifer, who has words from her heart to share with all of us.
My mom was a force of nature, and she was my idol. She taught us what it meant to truly create a home. Dad came home every day from work to have lunch with Mom. And at night, we had dinner as a family every night. She would travel over an hour to go to the best grocery store. She always made sure we had the best blueberries around. Her mother and father taught her that life revolves around food. L'adore, l'adore. How tough was it to create a kosher home in Berwick, Pennsylvania, in the middle of nowhere? But she pulled it off. And everybody in Berwick loved kosher food then. We would open our door every day after school, and there was somebody sitting around our kitchen table. They were my friends, my brother's friends, my father's friends, even people we became friends with through her. They were always sitting around, hanging out, eating with my mom. Mom was a style icon. If you ever wanted to know which dress to wear, my mom was the one to ask. Once when we were in Macy's in New York City, Sarah Jessica Parker stopped my mom to ask her how she did her hair. And my mom took it apart and showed her exactly how it was done. Even at Country Meadows, in her assisted living place, the residents stopped her daily to compliment her sneakers. 2 weeks ago, my brother made her so happy and took her to Target, where she bought a lot of things. He did a great job of taking care of her this last year. Thank you, Mark. My mom had amazing qualities. Her spine degenerating never got her down. Her determination to push forward is a lesson for all of us. Her grit was tremendous. Even after she was in a wheelchair, she wanted to see a play in New York City, and it took an obstacle course to get her in there. She couldn't wait to go back the next night. She taught me that the little things in life are really the big things. Always keep pre-cut carrots and celery for all car trips. 100 straws and sucking candies in the back seat, just in case you need them. To call your loved ones every day, once or twice a day. My time was 8 o'clock. Mark and Jeffrey and my grandmother had their own times. Even last night my phone rang at 8 o'clock and I thought it was her. We always ended the evenings with apple parties and cinnamon tea with Red Hots every night. Every time my mom would come to visit my home, wherever I was living, she would scrub my pots and pans so they looked brand new. Every time it was such a gift. It was just such an amazing gift she gave me. She cleaned up my life, and she taught me how to take care of my children. All in all, my mom didn't have any titles, but she was the wisest and most accomplished person I knew. Her last act in the hospital was she woke up and she blew us all kisses so that we would be okay. This kiss is for you, Mom.
Thank Thank you, Jennifer. You know, Jennifer, why you were speaking. On this day that yesterday we were, if you looked at your weather app, I think it said 100% rain this morning. I think it said 60%. As you mentioned, her being a fashion icon, the sun peeked out through the clouds. So, I want to call on her other generations, her grandchildren, have some words they want to share with all of us at this time as well.
I'm Sophia. I'm Jackie's oldest granddaughter. I just have one quick memory to share that I actually thought of this morning. People were talking about Argyle socks. It showed up on the TV, and I remembered that when I was in 8th grade, we were learning about cross multiplying, and so when you do that, it makes an Argyle pattern. And so my class, if we wore Argyle to class, we got an extra credit point. And I told this to Grandma Jackie, and she got me 20 pairs of Argyle socks, and I wore them every single day, and I got extra credit every single day, and I always told her that she let me do that, so that's just something that I remember, and I still have some of the socks, so when I wear them, I will think of her.
Hi, I'm Tylee. I'm Grandma Jackie's youngest granddaughter. And what I wrote was, taking a trip to see my grandma was always a treat. She would be waiting with bags of gifts for all of us. She always spoiled us, but we never complained about that. It always felt like a holiday because of the presents, and she made us feel so special. She would get us bags of clothes and pajamas and trinkets that she thought we might need, and it was always a treat. One memory that I loved was going to her house in Berwick and looking at her basement. Now, I know Grandma liked to keep a lot of stuff, but each piece had some history that I loved to look at. I got to look at her old records, and I loved her music taste. And I got to see her kitchen utensils, and I was really big into trying to create new dishes, so I liked to see what she was using. And Grandma was always down to do anything. She even made an appearance in one of my TikTok videos that was the 4 generations of women. And we would say, "Come on, Mom." And she shined so brightly in that video, and I will always play it on repeat from now and forever. And I will always carry her memory with me. Love you, Grandma.
Hello, I'm Aiden. A simple cinnamon candy. That is where my special relationship with Grandma Jackie began. She would stock the entire New York City apartment with hundreds of round cinnamon candies. In the cabinets, in the drawers, in bowls around the place, they were everywhere. As I tried my first Grandma Jackie special cinnamon candy, I had no idea that these candies would become a classic Sadock treat and would follow me around for the next 15 years. Every time we visited New York growing up, I would consume about 50 of these candies, eating them during Broadway plays, Rangers games, and even washing down a nice dinner at Asabuco or Blue Water Grill with a circular cinnamon treat. These candies were more than just a candy. They signified a special bond with a very special woman that I had. She gave me her love of cinnamon, and every night when she would make me tea, she would sneak in a few cinnamon candies to give it flavor. Grandma Jackie and I's love of cinnamon was one of many shared bonds that we had, another one being shopping. Every time I saw her, she would take me to Modell's or Kmart and buy me some sort of Rangers or Mets jersey, insisting that I needed a new one time and time again. It didn't matter that I already had 4 David Wright jerseys, I needed a 5th, according to her. The love and joy that she brought to every room she stepped into was remarkable. She was such a bright light, always making me feel like a rock star whenever I saw her. I am so thankful to have been able to meet such an incredible person, and the impact that Grandma Jackie has had on my life will last forever. Even when she was unable to walk and eventually talk, she persevered forward and always put others first, even when she needed more help. Truly inspirational, and to that I say, let us all be a little more like Grandma Jackie and collectively we will brighten the world.
Hi everyone, I'm Joseph. I'm her oldest grandson, second oldest grandchild. It's a tough day today. I'm sure Grandma wouldn't love to see all of our shoes with mud all over them, but she had plenty of shoes that could replace all the ones that we have dirty, that's for sure. My grandma's love was really unconditional and was truly the definition of unconditional. She didn't care what I did wrong, what I did right. She just loved me for me. I remember one time I was in high school and I went out partying a little bit too much, and I went to New York City the next day and I was so sick. I told my dad I had a cold, sorry. And she came up to me without my dad around and said, "You were out last night, weren't you?" And she got me, and I said yes, and she took care of me, gave me chicken soup and tea to help me feel better. I think everyone's heard about her shopping habit by now. I will say that also was left with me, and I do also have a bunch of shoes, and I will continue to get shoes in her honor. And there will never be enough of anything, and nothing could even replace her. And these times are sad, especially for my immediate family. There's been, this 5 stages of grief have been hitting sometimes all at once. There's denial, anger, guilt, depression, and then eventually acceptance. One thing that I want to address specifically with those is the anger portion. My grandmother proved that it's a lot harder to be happy than it is easy to be angry. It's a lot easier to be angry. And she had every reason to be angry and every reason to complain, but she never did. She made sure everyone was taken care of before her and always put herself second, which is the true definition of unconditional love. I can't thank her enough for all she's done for me, but the one thing that I do want to speak about is that she and my grandfather gave me my best friends. She gave me my dad, who I couldn't live without. She gave me my sister, who I also can't live without, although sometimes. Just kidding. Used to be about Zach. I have Aiden and Tylee. I have Jennifer, Steve, and we will carry on her legacy and her practices, specifically of shopping, and we will bring her honor. And we will miss her very dearly, and I will miss her very dearly, and there will be no replacing her, but we will be okay. Thank you, everyone.
Well, Bill, your grandchildren are remarkable. And Tilly, your great-grandchildren are just beautiful, beautiful people inside and out. Friends, we prepare now for our rites of burial. And as we do this, I just want to share with everyone that if anybody wishes to make a contribution in memory of Jackie, the family has suggested that you might consider either the YMCA of Berwick, Pennsylvania, or Beth Israel Synagogue in Bloomsburg, PA. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam dayan ha'emet. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, creator of the universe, the righteous judge. Adonai natan v'Adonai lekach, yehi shem Adonai mevarach. God has given, and now God has taken away. Still we bless and praise the name of God. Vayashov ha'afar al ha'aretz kishahaya v'haruach tashuv el ha'elohim asher natana. The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns unto God who gave it. May the soul of Jacquelyn Colt Sadock be bound up in the bond of life eternal.
Friends, we know that when we come into this world, there are hands, loving hands to guide us and care for
Thank you
us.
very much.
When we exit from this world, it's not done in the hands of the Spirit, but in the hands of those who bless and care for us. So this time, we invite you, if you wish, to place it on the casket. If you don't want to help you, put a little bit in your hands. And I know that there's also something that the family wants to also place on the casket. So I invite you to do that this time. For grandma, one for yourself.
Friends, after the El Malei Rachamim and after the recitation of the Mourner's Kaddish, we'll have an opportunity for anyone else who wishes to place earth to do so. If you are able, I invite you to rise now for the memorial prayer, the El Malei Rachamim. Rachamim, shochin bamramim, amsei menucha nechana tachat kanfei hashchina, b'malot kedoshim otorim, kezochar arakia mazirim, et nishmat Yafna bat Tabela ve'alter, shehalacha le'olama, beganet ente menuchata, ana v'harachamim asdirecha v'seiter kenafecha le'olamim, v'titzuror v'tzurorachayim et nishmata, Adonai hu nechalata, v'tanuach b'shalom, Amen. nishkavon v'nomar. Amen. O God, exalted and full of compassion, grant peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, to the soul of Jacquelyn Sadock, to Jackie, who is known in the household of Israel by the Hebrew name of Yaphna bat Tabala v'Alter, to Jackie, who has gone to her eternal home. God of mercy, we beseech you to remember all the worthy and righteous deeds that she performed in the land of the living. We pray that her soul will be bound up in the bond of life. God is her portion. May she rest in peace. And to this we say, Amen.
Friends, if you're able to rise, I invite you to rise for the mourner's Kaddish.
And we say together, Yitzgadal v'yitzgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma tivra chirutei, v'yachlich malchutei, v'chayichon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala u'bizman kariv v'yibru. Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah v'barach le'olam u'lomei olam, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, Shmei Dekudisha B'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, dam yiran b'yalma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. Osei shalom v'ramav, hu yasei shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. We pray that God, who makes peace in a high place, will send peace and compassion and healing to you, the mourners, to Israel, and to all humankind. And to this we say, Amen.
Friends, if we could form an aisle of consolation for the family to pass through, and then once the family has passed through, those of you who wish to place earth on the casket, I invite you to come forward and do that.